Our puppy Vigo is terrified of the sound of garbage trucks, and having shared this recently and seen so many comments and messages from people saying their dog's going through the same thing, I wanted to share a little bit about how we've been trying to tackle this problem in the hopes that it might help someone else. So to give a little bit of a background, this fear kind of came out of nowhere in the sense that we've lived in this house since he was 2 months old. He's now 9 months old. And I would say for the past like 4 to 6 weeks, his fear of garbage trucks and the sound of garbage trucks has become increasingly pronounced, and the symptoms of this are so heartbreaking. He shakes, he presses right up next to my body if we're in bed, because we like to bring him into our bed after we let him out of his crate in the morning. He will actually try and crawl onto my shoulder and then onto my nightside table to get into the as far into the corner of the room as possible. And then there are kind of like knock-on effects of this in the sense that, you know, if there are garbage trucks outside, he doesn't want to go outside to pee, which has led to accidents in the house. Maybe 3 weeks ago now, I'm kind of embarrassed to admit that I kind of forced him to go out, because I thought, you know, buddy, you need to go potty, then you can come inside and hang out. He ended up trying to bolt inside and pooped himself while trying to run inside, which was so heartbreaking. The next week I decided not to let him out. I said, you know, if he doesn't want to go out, we're not going to make him go out. And he ended up having an accident on the carpet, on our white carpet, which was a lot of fun cleaning up, as I'm sure you can imagine. So I feel like we've tried different things. We've tried to like give him treats when the sound happens. We've tried to play with him when the sound happens. But the thing is that his fear is so advanced that he kind of shuts down. He won't accept food. He doesn't want to play. All he wants to do is be pushed up against us. And you can see he's just like listening to the sounds of the garbage truck. So today's Friday, today's garbage day. And today is probably the first day that I think we had a pretty decent time of it compared to what Fridays normally look like for us. And so we did a few different things differently, and there's kind of 2 things that we've been doing. The first is around management, and the second is around actually trying to help him get past this fear. The first management is around how we are helping the garbage trucks to be less stressful for him in the moment. When your house is on fire, that's obviously not the moment to be doing your fire safety checks and to make sure everything's safe. That's the time to just solve the problem at hand. So with that in mind, when the garbage trucks came this morning, I made sure that I actually woke up at 6 in the morning to take him out to go potty. Normally we do it around 7:30ish. Unfortunately, there was a truck out there at 6 in the morning, so next week I'll wake up a little bit earlier. So while he was very happy to go outside, as soon as he heard that truck, he was trying to bolt inside. Luckily, I managed to get him on the grass long enough that he was able to pee on the grass, so he did his business for the morning, and then we came back inside. From 6 a.m., I then made sure that I put on white noise on our TV. Nothing distracting, just something kind of loud enough to make the base level of noise of our house a little bit higher, so that hopefully he wouldn't hear the trucks as pronounced. And then we went to bed, because normally, as I said, you know, we let him out of the crate in the morning and he comes to our bedroom and he sleeps for like 15-20 minutes. This morning, because he was in our bed at 6, we slept for like a good hour and a half. The next thing that we did was we made sure that we had the fan in our bathroom on. Again, just trying to create white noise, trying to kind of drown out the sound of the trucks a little bit. Overall, this seemed to help. There was one point when we felt like we could hear the trucks and he started getting a little bit nervous. I just put some Taylor Swift on. I didn't plan this, by the way. I'm just a huge Swiftie. I just put whatever was on my Spotify on, happened to be Taylor Swift, as it normally is, and just tried to, again, to kind of drown out the sound. So we knew that he'd gone potty, we knew that he wasn't gonna have an accident in the house, and now it was all about just trying to help him not hear the sound of the trucks. So that's the management side of things. And overall, as I said, I think this worked really nicely compared to other weeks that we've had. Next week, we definitely know we have to take him out earlier than 6 a.m. and we know that I probably need to start playing music in our room a little bit earlier versus waiting to hear the truck and then playing the music. The next thing that we've been doing is I've actually taken Amy Cook's masterclass on noise sensitivity and how to work through it. I feel like before we had been trying to like play a game with him or give him food when the trucks drove by, but that it just wasn't working because he wasn't in a headspace to play or to have a snack or to do anything other than just be terrified, which I totally get. Can you imagine if you were in shark-infested waters and then someone came and was like, oh, you want a snack? Let's play a game. You'd probably be like, oh my God, there's sharks. I can't eat right now. But what I love about Amy's masterclass, it's $19. I think it's like $18.95. It's about an hour and a half long. If you have a dog that is going through any kind of noise sensitivity fear or anything like that, I highly, highly recommend that you check it out. I will write the website where you can find it here. What I didn't realize, that I now realize after taking this masterclass, is that this kind of fear should be taken as an emergency and you should try and get on top of it as soon as possible, because what starts out as a fear of the sound of garbage trucks could then evolve into a fear of the sound of all cars, or the sounds of all beeping, or the sounds of etc, etc. Basically, it can generalize very fast, so it's important to get on top of it as soon as possible. I don't want to share too much about what that plan looks like, just because I'm very mindful that it's not my intellectual property, and I want to really encourage you, if you're in this position, to check out Amy's stuff. It's really, really good. But broadly speaking, she sets up a framework where you can cue up your dog to play and practice this with other less scary situations, so that when the scary situation comes, you can then be in a position where your dog is ready to play instead of be afraid. And over time, this means that your dog is less afraid because they kind of expect something good from that something bad. She goes into it in a lot more detail. She has a step-by-step process. We've been doing it for like the last week, I would say, because it was a week ago that I was like, right, I need to sort this out. Let me see if Amy Cook has anything. And I really regret that we didn't do it sooner, because we're already seeing changes in him, even not the scariest of truck noises, but the mild sounding truck noises. We're doing this exercise with him and we're seeing results, whereas before he would just shut down. I know it's going to be a journey. I know it's going to be a long journey, but I'm really relieved that I feel like we finally have a plan in place. I feel like we're getting the management of it under control, in the sense of we're better understanding how to support him through those scary moments, and we have a plan in place around how to help him get past this fear, which I'm confident he will, because he's a brilliant, amazing, wonderful dog. He's just going through a tough spot right now. One other thing I wanted to address is I got a few comments on my last video from people saying that it might be a fear period. The reason why I don't think it's a fear period is because in the past, when I think we've had fear period, the fear has been quite broad, in the sense of he was afraid of his food bowl, he was afraid of a boy playing baseball, like he was afraid of the most random things. It lasted for 2 weeks. It was quite a short stint of him being afraid of everything, whereas this feels quite specific. He is specifically afraid of the sound of large vehicles like buses. It's basically the exhaust, them accelerating, them reversing, and the beeping noise. That's what he's afraid of, and this has been kind of a persisting issue. It's been for, as I said, like 6 weeks we've been noticing this pattern with him. So I hope that helps. As I said, I can't recommend Amy Cook's masterclass enough. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope that this helps.